What is contraception? The term contraception refers to the process avoiding of pregnancy. Artificial methods. Oral contraceptives. Known as the pill, oral contraceptives contain synthetic estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen suppresses the follicle-stimulating hormones FST and LH to prevent ovulation. Progesterone decreases the permeability of the cervical mucus to limit the sperm's access to the ova. It is suggested that the woman takes the first pill on the first Sunday after the beginning of the menstrual flow, or as soon as it is prescribed by the doctor. This is the example of oral contraceptive pills.
Oral contraceptive advantage. Excellent protection. Safe for most women. Non-contraceptive benefits. Woman in control. Easy to use and reverse. Protective benefits. Disadvantage. May cause mood changes. No protection against STIs. Cause possible side effect. Must be taken every day. Real risk complications.
These are the 13 most common side effects of birth control pills: weight gain or bloating, change in appetite, mood changes, sex drive, breast tenderness, vaginal discharge, acne reason, less menstrual cramps, nausea, intermenstrual spotting, headache, melasma, reduce the risk of endometrial, and ovarian cancer. Transdermal patch. The transdermal patch contains both estrogen and progesterone. The woman should apply one patch every week of the 3 weeks on the following areas: outer arm, upper torso, abdomen, or buttocks. At the 4th week, no patch is applied because the menstrual flow would then occur. This is the example of transdermal patch.
Vaginal ring. Ito yung vaginal ring. The vaginal ring releases a combination of estrogen and progesterone, and it surrounds the cervix. This silicone ring is inserted into the female reproductive organ and remains there for 3 weeks and then removed on the 4th week as menstrual flow would occur. Tatanggalin mo na yan kasi sa ika-4th week nga, sabi ko na mag-flow na ang menstruation mo. The woman becomes fertile as soon as the ring is removed. So, fertile ang babae kapag hindi mo nilagyan ng vaginal ring. So, ito yung vaginal ring na tinatawag. So,
Vaginal ring. What are their main advantages? An alternate form of hormonal contraception which is used only once every 4 hours. May make a woman's period more regular, lighter, and may reduce cramping. What are their main disadvantages? Can cause vaginal irritation, discomfort or discharge, may cause nausea and breast tenderness. Some women may be able to feel it. Do not protect against STI. These are the side effects of vaginal ring.
Next is subdermal implants. The subdermal implants, this is a 2-rod-like implants which is inserted in the skin of the female during her menses or on the 7th day of her menstruation to make sure that she will not get pregnant. The implants are made with estro... Okay, so the implants are made with ethanogestrel, no? Ethanogestrel and desogestrel and progestin and can be helpful for 3 to 5 years. Ayan. So, ang tagal po ng subdermal implants is this is good for 3 to 5 years. Yan, ito po yung mga subdermal implants. Yung ini-implant po dito sa mga nagbo-birth control, artificial birth control. Yan. So, dyan nilalagay underneath the skin of arm. Hormonal injections. A hormonal injection contains medroxyprogesterone. Okay? A progesterone and is usually given once every 12 weeks intramuscularly. Why? Because the injection can cause changes in the endometrium and cervical mucus and can help prevent ovulation. Ito po ang mga injection. Ayan. Meron po mga nag-i-inject na ginagamit ito pong injection as a way of birth control. Intrauterine device, ano ito? Ito yung tinatawag nilang IUD, a small T-shaped object containing progesterone that is inserted into the uterus via the female reproductive organ. It prevents fertilization by creating a local sterile inflammatory condition to prevent implantation of the zygote. The IUD is fitted only by the physician and inserted after a woman's menstrual flow. A physician lang po ang dapat maglagay ng IUD po doon sa loob. The device can be effective for 5 to 7 years. So, ganito po yung form ng IUD. This is a T-shape. Yan. So, ito po yung IUD string. Okay, so we have also here chemical barriers. What are these chemical barriers? Chemical barriers such as spermicides, the vaginal gels, and creams, glycerine films, which are used to cause the death of sperms because they can enter the cervix and to lower the pH level of the female reproductive organ so it will not become conducive for the sperm. Kasi kapag meron yung pH level natin, so, hindi mabubuhay doon yung sperm. These chemical barriers cannot prevent sexually transmitted diaphragm, a circular rubber disc that fits the cervix and should be placed before coitus. Nilalagay ito before coitus. Diaphragm works by inhibiting the entrance of the sperm into the female reproductive organ, and it works better when used together with a spermicide cream. The diaphragm should be fitted only by the physician and should remain in place for 6 hours after coitus. Okay, ayan. So this is the diaphragm. Contraceptive jelly. This jelly, parang siyang cup. And then, lalagyan na siya ng cream dyan. Tapos, ilalagay dito. This is your uterus. Yan. This is your uterus. And ito yung cervical cap. The cervical cap, this is made of soft rubber and fitted on the rim of the cervix. It is shaped like a thin ball with a thin rim and could stay in place for not more than 48 hours. So, if more than 48 hours, hindi po pwedeng ilagay ang cervical cap. Kailangan po siyang kunin. This is an example of cervical cap. Ayan, para lang po siyang diaphragm, no? Pero maliit po itong cervical cap na ito. Yan, this is the cervix, and this is the uterus. Yan, nilagyan pa rin ng gel yung cervical cap po. Okay. Male condoms. So, male condoms, maraming nakakaalam nito. It is a latex or synthetic rubber sheet that is placed on the erect male reproductive organ before penetration into the female reproductive organ to trap the sperm during ejaculation. So, kapag mag-ejaculate siya, matatrap yung sperm doon, hindi pupunta po sa ating cervix or doon sa uterus po. Okay. It can prevent STI and can be brought over the counter. So, marami po yan sa mga over the counter and 7-Eleven stores. Male condoms have an ideal fill rate of 2% and a typical fill rate of 15% due to a break in the sheet's integrity spilling of the semen. So, meron pong mga may iba dyan, may mga butas or may mga kapag matagal na po yung mga male condoms. Ay, ito po yung two type ng male condoms. This is the unrolled and the rolled, yung niroll yo. Yan. Female condoms. Kung merong male condoms, meron din pong female condoms. These are made up of latex rubber sheets that are pre-lubricated with spermicide. They are usually bound by 2 rings. The outer ring is first inserted against the opening of the female reproductive organ, and the inner ring covers the cervix. It is used to prevent fertilization of the egg by the sperm cell. So ganito po yung mukha ng female condom if nakakita na po kayo ng female condom. This is the closed end and the open end. So the closed end must be inserted doon po papasok sa ating cervix, and the open end will be here po sa ating vagina. Okay. Yan. And closed end and open end. Surgical method. Meron din po tayong surgical method. During vasectomy, a small incision is made on each of the scrotum. So ano po yung vasectomy? Ito po yung vasectomy. Puputulin po ito ang this is the vas deferens. Ano? Ito, vas deferens. Puputulin po yan. Vasectomy site, puputulin. Bakit po puputulin? Para po hindi po maka-flow doon sa ating para ma-block po ng passage ng ating sperm. Kasi the vas deferens, ano mangyayari sa vas deferens? Itatay po ito dito para yung semen po na malalabas sana dito ay hindi na siya makakalabas. Okay? Then tie, then cauterized cut or plug to block the passage of the sperm. The patient is advised to use a backup contraceptive method until 2 negative sperm count results are recorded because the sperm could remain viable in the vas deferens for 6 months. So, pwede pa rin yan sa 6 months. So, kaya, ina-advise sa kanila na merong backup na contraceptive. Okay? Sa babae naman, in women, the tubal ligation is performed after menstruation and before ovulation. The procedure is done through a small incision under the woman's umbilicus that targets the fallopian tube for cutting, cauterizing, or blocking to inhibit the passage of both sperm and ova. So what will happen? Ayan, puputulin po itong fallopian tube natin. No? Ayan, para hindi po makapasok doon ang egg cell dito po sa ating uterus. Kapag po makapasok na dyan yung egg cell, pwede na pong imimit dito ng ating sperm cell. So para hindi po makapasok ay puputulin. The natural method of family planning methods do not involve any chemical or foreign body introduction into the human body. So, natural nga yung sinabi niya. Therefore, hindi po tayo maglalagay ng chemicals, wala po tayong ilalagay sa body natin, just as natural. Ito po yung tinuturo sa mga simbahan na hindi po tayo pwedeng gumamit ng mga artificial contraceptives para lang po hindi po tayo mag-conceive ng ating babies. No? Okay. People who are very conscious of their religious beliefs are more inclined to use the natural way of birth control than those of artificial, and others follow such natural methods because they are more cost effective. Ayan. Hindi po natin kinakailangan na gumastos ng malaking pera para lang po hindi po mag-birth control. So meron naman po natural method, we can use this one. Okay, first we have abstinence. What is this abstinence? This natural method involves refraining from sexual intercourse and is the most effective natural birth control method with ideally 0% fail rate. Abstinence meaning hindi ka pwedeng mag-involve into coitus. Abstinence meaning absence. Okay? Refraining from sexual intercourse. So this method is 0% fail rate. Kasi nga, absent ka, huwag ka muna mag-sexual intercourse. And yun yung abstinence. This is most effective way to avoid STI or sexually transmitted infection kasi hindi ka makikipag-sexual intercourse. Most people find it difficult to comply with abstinence, so only few use this method. So, basta maliit lang ang population ng mga tao na makakaya yung abstinence method. method na ito. Next, we have calendar method. This method is also called as the rhythm method kasi you are going to log the rhythm of your menstruation. It entails withholding from coitus during the days that the woman is fertile. Hindi ka pwedeng sa calendar method titingnan mo na kapag fertile ka pala, hindi ka pwedeng makikipag-coitus. How will you know that? According to the menstrual cycle, the woman is likely to conceive 3 or 4 days to record her menstrual cycle for 6 months in order to calculate woman's safe days to prevent conception. So, kinakailangan, tingnan muna natin itong tinatawag natin na cycle ng mga babae. Once hindi mo yan, hindi mo kalkulado, no, yung cycle ng ating menstruation, mahihirapan kang gumamit nitong calendar method. Ito po yung, this is the day 1 to 5, the monthly bleeding. So usually lasts from 2 to 7 days, often about 5 days. If there is no pregnancy, the thickened lining of the womb is shed. It leaves the body through the vagina. This monthly bleeding is also called menstruation. Yung sinabi natin kanina. Contractions of the womb at this time can cause cramps. Some women bled for a short time, for example, 2 days, while others bled for up to 8 days. The bleeding can be heavy or light. If the egg is fertilized by a man's sperm, the woman may become pregnant and monthly bleeding stops. Okay, so from day 1 to 5, after the day 14, at the day 14, no, it releases egg. Magre-release na po ng egg itong ating ovary. Usually, this occurs between days 7 and 21 of the cycle, often around day 14. Usually, one of the ovaries releases one egg in each cycle, usually once a month. The egg travels through the fallopian tube towards the womb. It may be fertilized in the tube at this time by a sperm cell that has traveled from the vagina. So, day 15 to 28, this is the thickening of the womb lining. So, mag-thicken na naman itong womb lining. Usually about 1 to 14 days long after ovulation. The lining of the uterus or endometrium becomes thicker during this time to prepare for fertilized egg. Usually, there is no pregnancy and the unfertilized egg cell dissolves in the reproductive tract. So, madedissolve lang siya dito sa ating reproductive tract. And next, we have BBT or the basal body temperature. This will indicate if the woman's temperature is at rest. Before the day of ovulation and during ovulation, our BBT falls at 0.5 degrees Fahrenheit. It increases to a full degree because of progesterone and maintains its level throughout the menstrual cycle. The woman must record her temperature every morning before any activity. A slight decrease, kahit maliit lang na decrease in the BBT followed by a gradual increase in the basal body temperature can be a sign that a woman has ovulated. So this is an example of 1 month BBT, recorded BBT sa isang and low temperature. So, kapag merong abrupt na decrease of temperature, yan. So, masasabi natin, ay, nag-ovulate ka dito. So, high temperature period, malapit ka ng mag-mens. Yan. Okay. Next is the cervical mucus method. The change in the cervical mucus during ovulation is the basis for this method. So, titingnan natin yung mga mucus na nakalagay na ma-feel natin sa ating mga genitalia para malaman natin if saang na tayo, what I mean is, basta, wait lang. During ovulation kasi, the cervical mucus is copious. were thin and watery during ovulation. It also exhibits the property of spin bouquet, wherein it can be stretched up until at least 1 inch and is slippery. So, slippery ang ating mucus kapag, slippery siya. Kung slippery ang ating mucus, anong mangyayari? Yan, we have to avoid coitus. We must avoid coitus during those days to prevent conception. So, eto, yan. So, kapag ang ating cervical mucus ay dry, thicky, yan, no, thick. So, not fertile tayo dyan. So, pwede kayong magkaitos dyan. Kapag creamy, sticky, ayan, so you are not fertile. If it is cloudy or stretchy, mas-stretch na natin yan. You are semi-fertile, so unsafe na yan. If it is egg, watery, stretchy, parang egg white, ayan, fertile na fertile kayo dyan. So, malalaman natin dito sa chart na to, the progress of your cervical mucus. So, you can check also that one. Okay, so, meron din tayo, dito, yung 1 month na cycle sa cervical mucus method. This one sa menstruation, dry days naman yan. So, walang lalabas na mga mucus. So, because you are experiencing menstruation, so probably you are infertile at that time, up to 9th day from the start of your menstruation. First day of wet days is 10 days. So, up to this 17, this is the ovulation, and then up to 20 days, no? Fertile ka pa rin dyan hanggang bago papasok dito sa 21 day hanggang babalik na naman dito. So, sa dry days natin, dito tayo magiging infertile. So, pwede tayo dito coitus activity. Okay, next is symptothermal method. The symptothermal method is basically a combination of BBT method and the cervical mucus method. The woman records her temperature every morning and also takes note of changes in her cervical mucus. So, symptothermal ilalog niya or ililist niya or i-record niya ang kanyang temperature and also observe the cervical mucus na lalabas sa kanyang genitalia. She should abstain from coitus 3 days after a rise in her temperature or on the 4th day after the peak of a mucus change. Okay, so this is an example of symptothermal method fertility awareness. So since hindi natin ma-zoom, so you can pause this video and zoom, or you can research this one by searching this one as title para ma-view nyo kung ano ang nangyayari dyan sa loob. And the fertile phase begins at the onset of cervical fluid production and ends in the evening on the day that both the peak day rule and temperature shift rule have been set. We have here also ovulation detection. The ovulation detection method uses an over-the-counter kit that requires the urine sample of the woman. This is a kit which can predict ovulation through the surge of luteinizing hormone that happens 12 to 24 hours before ovulation. So this is an example of ovulation detection. Ito ang magde-detect whether you are, if this is your ovulation period, yan ang magde-detect. Tapos, pero, meron din tayong mga, mga application. Meron ding mga app sa Play Store or na mada-download natin na pwede lang natin i-record ang ating mga activity or mga Okay, next is coitus interruptus. The coitus interruptus is the oldest method that prevents conception. A couple still goes on with coitus, but the man withdraws the moment he ejaculates to emit the spermatozoa outside the female reproductive organs, or withdrawal, yung sinasabi nila na withdrawal. A disadvantage of this method is the pre-ejaculation. Kasi during coitus, meron tayong tinatawag na pre-ejaculation fluid during the coitus na hindi mako-contain, no, ng lalaki. So, may malalabas pa rin sa kanilang mga genitalia na hindi mo malalaman. A few that may cause fertilization pa rin. Okay. And so those are the natural method of contraception that I have told you. Ayan, meron tayong abstinence, calendar method, BBT, cervical mucus method, symptothermal method, and ovulation detection, and coitus interruptus. So those are the things na mga natural, hindi gumagamit ng chemical, or kung ano yung mga ini-inject para magkaroon lang ng mag-birth control. Okay? So, I have told you na meron tayong mga application available sa Play Store na pwede nyo i-download para naman ma-monitor ang ating menstrual cycle, if gusto nyo magkaanak, or to prevent premarital teenage pregnancy, no, ganon. So, you can use that one para maiwasan po.